So what happens with these that makes them seem a little bit more difficult and take longer is not only is some of our motion here getting lost with this really long neck, the curvature in here, it's a little bit tighter, so that tends to be a harder spot to traverse through. So when we're losing some of our motion here, it's not making it all the way to the tip. So there's a lot less progress being made down here compared to what we're putting into it up here. Here we're going to do some tips on how to use the TubeClear clearing stem to clear the MIC gastroduodenal feeding and decompression tube. So first I have my flushing syringe to verify that I have a clog in my tube. I'm going to give it just a little bit of pressure. We don't want to do too much because it can blow the tube out. So I just hold down about 2 to 3 cc's, confirm that it's clogged, try to pull back. Okay, so we are clogged. First things first, after we confirm that our tube is clogged, we want to take our clearing stem and coat it with the coconut oil lubricant. This helps to ensure that the clearing stem can advance through the silicone tubing. It takes a lot of patience. And a lot of that flushing and aspirating, because every little bit that we knock loose, it's important to spread out and keep loose so that we can make it a little bit further each time. You just barely move it 2 to 3 cc's or mils on your syringe so that you're not applying too much pressure. It's okay to hold 10 to 15 seconds. Sometimes that slow, steady pressure allows things to move on their own in there. Also, always remember to stop and check that when your control box is on, that you can still see the end of this moving back and forth, letting you know that you did not kink it and it's still got good displacement. So it's also inside there working on that clog. I like to alternate between these really fast to just like really slow, but still keeping that distance short. And sometimes I'll give a little, just hold a little push to help it go forward. So it's good, rule of thumb, to do preventative maintenance and sometimes just not wait till the tube gets fully occluded, to just run a clearing stem through it and make sure everything is out. It's good to have a lot of napkins after you get that coconut oil on your fingers. I like to do the little pump. It definitely helps push some of that stuff back and forth. Sometimes it's good to just hold a pressure on there for 10 to 15 seconds, not being any hurry to release it, just in case, as you can see here, very, very slowly some of that stuff is moving through the tube. So if I just keep that pressure, it's slowly coming out. There's a lot that you're not going to be aware of that's happening in there. Now, I don't want to kid you guys. This will take many tries. It's not a quick process. Sometimes it's easier than others. A lot of things can factor into it. One of them being the claw. Don't lose patience, and if you need to take a break, it's fine to take a break. So what happened was, as I held that pressure, all of the stuff in this tube was slowly moving and squirted out these ports. All of it just slowly came out while I held that pressure on there from me loosening it up. With the clearing stem, what I did was put a trail inside that clog material that allowed the water to get inside of it, and therefore it wasn't just like a solid rock anymore. A lot of our effort is lost in this motion of this neck, so Now that I'm close to the bottom, you can see that I'm getting my depth limiter. It was a long process, even though the tube had flushed out and cleared. So don't get discouraged. Don't think that you're doing something wrong. These tubes tend to just be a little difficult to get through, but not impossible and totally worth it. That out. There we go. Now, all 15 cc's went in. It was a process. It's good to take a break if you feel like you need a break or you're getting tired or you just want to let it soak. Do that. It's those short motions, being sure to try to stabilize your neck as much as possible, because that is where a lot of your efforts get lost in translation from here to the tip of the clearing stem. Always put frequently lubricate, and sometimes it's good to only go in for a minute or two, take it out, relubricate a minute or two. That's what will keep this effective. That's just some tips and tricks, and it's different every time.